If you are thinking of a bank that takes care of customers' needs by providing quality services with flexibility, reliability, and innovation, think Trust Bank Limited. With Trust Bank Limited mobile banking, you enjoy services such as balance inquiry, mini statement, funds transfer between accounts, exchange rates, mobile airtime top-up, stop ATM card, checkbook request, and PIN change. Our real-time gross settlement allows the customer to instruct the bank to transfer funds from their account to another account at another bank. Our expertise and experience in international banking is both legendary and the envy of the market. Retail banking, one bank, different amazing packages. Whether you are interested in savings account, current account, time or fixed deposit account, lending or overdraft, our team of dedicated staff is always ready and willing to help you out with your transactions as you wish. Corporate banking. Trust Bank Limited offer the most convenient services for deposit accounts, credit facilities, trade finance, bond and guarantee, and foreign currency account. With e-banking, you can make electronic bill payments and online banking and enjoy 24-hour access to your cash with our ATM. With the largest network of branches and agents, we give you the convenience to receive funds as you please. Trust Bank Limited, proudly Gambian.
fay lempo warugal la si képp koo xam ne doomi réew mi nga ak ñu fi dëkk bu fekkee ne ci at mi sa koom-koom weesu na $2,400 dalasi mbete weer bu nekk di nga am lu tollu si $2,000 dalasi lempo si la nguur gi di sukkandeku ngir liggéey yokkute réew mi GRA mooy banxaas bu nguuri Gambia sas ngir mu fayeku lépp luy lempo ci biir réew mi ba tax na GRA di yëgal faykati lempo yi ne warugal la pour ñu fay lu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment maanaam bépp contract bu waay joxe te si biir réew mi lañu toog kon xaalis si contract bi ngeen nangotoo war nga cee wàññi ci xayma téeméer bu nekk fukka bu fekkee ne contracto bi dëkkut ci biir réew mi bu boobaa di nga war a wàññi téeméer bu nekk fukka ak juróom lii mooy lempo bu ñu naan withholding tax on contract payment lii mooy lempo bi nga xam ne yow mi joxe contract warugal la nga wëlbatiku dem fay ko ci maakaani GRA tax office bu la gën a jege mbete ci banque yi GRA jagleel pour fay lempo war ngaa jébal lempo bi si diiri fukki fan ak juróom gannaaw bi nga wàññee ci xaalis si contract bi amul benn contracto bu ñu teggil fay lempo bi xanaa mu fekk ne nguuri Gambia ñoo ko jégale boole si projet yi nga xam ne mbootaay ndimbali ñoo koy dépense GRA di fayeku lempo ngir yokk.
For the first time in the history of the Gambia, Gambia Printing Publishing Corporation proudly introduces the Bibliomatic Exercise Book Printing Machine. The machine has the capacity to print more than 20,000 books per hour. Yes, 20,000 books per hour. It also prints magazines, newspapers, calendars, flyers, normal books and all kinds of printed documents plus items at affordable prices. With the Bibliomatic Printing Machine, GPPC can now render high-quality and non-size restricted printing service supply across the sub-region. Rush now and partner with GPPC for all your public and private printing service needs. Print with us today and you'd be offered highly professional, reliable and efficient service delivery by our team of experts. The Gambia Printing and Publishing Corporation is here to meet all demands and is reliable at all times. For more info, contact us on 437-4493 or 437-4402. GPPC is Gambian and it's yours.
In communication, connectivity is everything. We ensure that the links never sleep. Quantities and qualities all in our data service, providing efficient, reliable voice and data service. We believe if you're not up to speed, then you're going backwards. Communications have to flow as fast as the speed of light. Whatever business you're in, having someone who understands your needs is critical. That is why we just don't offer you technology, we offer you solutions. Enjoy Gamcel's internet broadband anytime, anywhere. Your national operator, Gamcel.
Hello and welcome to this special panel. As you know, earlier on we did announce that the Gambia government will be announcing the new cabinet that will work with President Barrow for the next 5 years. And it's going to be broadcast live from GRTS, and here at Kerr Fatou we will also bring it live to you guys. And with me to look at these appointments is Essa. Essa, welcome to this special panel.
Thank you very much for having me. Quite interesting. I think it's the most awaited news or information, piece of information that Gambians have been waiting for since the re-election of President Adama Barrow in December 2021. And now we're having it coming, because it's official from the presidency, that the announcement will be made. And let's see, who are the new additions, and of course, who are those that are saying bye-bye to President Barrow.
It's going to be an interesting next 30 minutes. The government spokesperson, Sankare, will be making the announcement. This is the first time I think we're having such a huge announcement. I think it's, but one thing I must also admit though is the secrecy behind this. This government for the past, past 6 years have always dealt with leaks. Before any appointments come in, we do know that the president always get his information leaked before it's out. Yeah. But it seems like this time they have managed this information so well. As we speak, there are speculations. We do know bits and pieces of stuff that we're hearing, and I think some of them we can say even before they come in. But the way that the government is handling these leaks is important. So that's why we're going to. It's going to be important to look at these appointments and who's coming in. This is also going to tell us how President Barrow plans to handle the next 5 years. It will be important, Essa. Yeah. But leaks first. Let's look at no leaks. It seems like there's no leaks. Yeah. I mean, we have different places, but it seems like there's no leaks.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's for the first time the government is able to manage, information that are, secret, that are confidential. Yeah. In the sense that, it's been speculated, I think, more than a month now. Yeah. In fact, there was a list that was going around to say these are the people that are appointed. But then you cannot talk to anybody today that will tell you that it is certain that this is the complete and final list of President Barrow's new cabinet. Yeah. Like you said, there are speculations that some will make their way out, some will remain. I mean, but these are things that we cannot, confirm for now. But it's quite going to be interesting. It shows that those that are going to be in the cabinet, especially those that are maintaining their positions, I think it shows one thing, that the president has a lot of trust and confidence in them. And those that are making their way out, probably not because they have not performed to expectation, but also maybe the president might be interested in certain things, certain reforms in certain ministries, which he thinks there are people out there that can do the job better. So it doesn't necessarily mean that those that are going out, those that are leaving the cabinet, are not necessary or have not performed up to expectation, because there could be surprises. I mean, people might think that, there are some people that have done well, but they could be removed.
It depends what the president is looking for. I do know that during his after the election, his first interview that he granted to Standard Lamin Cham, the president said he will definitely work with the coalition partners. So we might be seeing a lot of coalition members in this cabinet. We do also know that there are some little increment to the number of ministers that we are going to have. Some ministries have been split, I think. But let's look at what we're hearing. We're hearing that we might get a new vice president. Do you think that is something that you expected? Dr. Aissatou Toure, a former member of the coalition, very loyal to President Barrow, very vocal, very outspoken. Is that anything that you think would have happened?
Well, I think Dr. Ture has been one very big loyalist to Barrow in the past 5 years, and that was not something I was really expecting. But like you said, there are speculations or rumors that it's going to be a female vice president, as usual.
I'm not hearing a female vice president.
Well, I'm hearing a female vice president.
So I'm hearing a different thing.
And also a Christian, for that matter.
I'm hearing a different thing.
Someone is saying that from a source at State House, the current Minister of Basic Education is probably going to be the new vice president. That is Claudiano Cole. But these are unconfirmed reports. That's what we're hearing. But then, like I said, I mean, you know, Aissatou Toure is a member of the coalition and was a member of the coalition because coalition is no more. And I think
so. We will go to GRTS now. As they are here, let's go to GRTS. Can we put the volume up, please?
Thank you very much. Good evening, Indians, also the diplomatic and consular corps, and all residents domiciled in the Gambia. The police is dated today, the 4th of May 2022, and is captioned Appointment of New Cabinet. The public is hereby informed that His Excellency Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, acting under Section 70, subsection 5A, and Section 71, subsection 4B of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, hereby relieves Her Excellency, the Vice President, and all ministers in it from their positions with immediate effect. His Excellency, the President, thanks them for their service to the nation and wishes them the best in their future endeavors. The public is further informed that His Excellency, President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, acting under Section 70, subsection 3, and Section 71, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, is pleased to make the following appointments to his cabinet with effect from Wednesday, 4th of May, 2022. 1. Vice President, Mr. Aliou Badara Diouf. 2. Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Dauda A. Jal. 3. Minister of Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Gambians Abroad, Dr. Mamadou Talla. Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, Mr. C.D. Kerr. 5. Minister of Defense, Mr. Serine Modu Njai. 6. Minister of Interior, Mr. Siaka Song. 7. Minister of Tourism and Culture, Mr. Hamad Ngan Kumba Ba. 8. Minister of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, Mr. Abba Sai. 9. Minister of Agriculture, Dr. Demba Sabali. 10. Minister of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, Mr. Ibrahim Silla. 11. Minister of Health, Dr. Amadou Lamin Sawadi. 12. Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, Mrs. Claudiana Cole. 13. Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Mrs. Fatou Kinte. 14. Minister of Petroleum and Energy, Mr. Abdoulaye Diop. 15. Minister of Fisheries and Water Resources, Mr. Musa S. Drame. 16. Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Professor Pierre Gomez. 17. Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Natural Resources, Mrs. Rohi John Manyan. 18. Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. Bakari Bai. Honorable C.D. Kerr will continue to oversee the Ministry of Trade, Industry, Regional Integration and Employment until the formalization of the appointment of the new minister designate, or the minister designate. His Excellency, the President, acting under Section 71, subsection 1 of the Constitution, has created a new ministerial portfolio in charge of the public service, administrative reform, policy coordination and delivery. The new Minister of the Public Service, Administrative Reform, Policy Coordination and Delivery will have general oversight over the public service and shall work towards the formulation of policy geared towards institutionalizing a culture of discipline, excellence, and accountability in the public service. Furthermore, the new Minister shall continuously review the inner workings of the administrative machinery of the government and make proposals for reform to reduce inefficiency and increase output. Finally, the Minister shall be in charge, or shall be charged with developing framework for monitoring the implementation of government policy and for ensuring effective communication and horizontal coordination between ministries. Accordingly, and acting under Section 71, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency the President is pleased to appoint Mr. Bakar Usman Diouf. It's also Bakar Usmaila or Bakar Usman Diouf. There is a typo, sorry. As Minister in charge of the public service. Administrative reform, policy coordination and delivery with effect from the 4th of May 2022. In light of the new changes, His Excellency the President hereby makes the following administrative changes to the public service and the Office of the President. 1. With effect from the 4th of May 2022, the Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service shall be the titular head of the Personal Management Office with the sole mandate of supervising the civil service and answerable to the Minister. His Excellency the President is pleased to appoint Mrs. Salimata E. Toure as Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service in accordance with Section 168, subsection 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, 1997. 2. Furthermore, the role of the Secretary General as Administrative Head of the Civil Service or as Head of the Office of the President shall be taken over by a Chief of Staff who shall be appointed by the President. His Excellency the President is therefore pleased to appoint Mr. Mor K. Sise as Chief of Staff. All correspondences for the President shall henceforth be addressed to the Chief of Staff. Furthermore, His Excellency the President has decided to decouple the Ministry of Information and Communication Infrastructure, commonly known as MOISI, separate ministries, namely 1. Ministry of Information, 2. and the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. The existing departments and their manpower under the old MOISI will now stand as sector-specific departments. In this regard, 1. The Department of Information Services will now serve as the technical and government charged with the implementation of policy initiatives and ability, public relations and access to information under the new Ministry of Information. Gambia Radio and Television Services, GRTS, will continue to be the main media candidate of the dissemination of information and public. 2. The Directorate of Information and Communications Technology, ICT, under the old MOISI, will be transformed into a standalone department under the new Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy, with the primary objective of increasing internet access and driving digital innovation geared towards unlocking new pathways for rapid economic growth, innovation, job creation, and technological advancement. These department structures are already existing under the old MOISI, with the necessary manpower and under separate budgetary headings or budget headings. Accordingly, and acting under Section 71, subsection 3 of the Constitution of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency President Barrow is pleased to appoint Mr. Lamin Queen Jammeh as Minister of Information. Honorable Ibrahim Sina will continue to oversee the new Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy until the formalization of the appointment of the Minister designate. Signed for Secretary General Ibrahim Sise, Cabinet Secretary, dated this 4th day of May 2022. End of broadcast. Thank you.
Thank you so much there, Mr. Spokesperson. Well, we've seen certain changes from we used to be in the Tell us, the public, whether they acknowledge or not, looks up to the government for leadership.
Absolutely.
And what is the assurance here that this new cabinet will not indeed fall short of fulfilling their mandate, or in fact, fall short of their election?
Well, the question implies that the old cabinet fell short of their expectation.
No, I mean, it is to say, by hook or by crook, that they must.
Well, they are Gambians, all of them, and there are many qualified Gambians. There are probably more qualified, more competent Gambians, but it's an honor to be given the opportunity to serve your country. That's what President Barrow has done. Very soon they will sworn to the Constitution and to whatever religion they believe, the Bible or the Quran or whatever, and to make an undertaking that they're going to serve their country without fear or favor, affection or ill will. That they will not lie, that they will adhere to the rules and regulations prescribed by their oath of office. And it is anticipated. The President has a lot of confidence in this crop of a cabinet. And we don't expect anything less than what is expected.
It need not an impetuous decision. It had to take time before the President eventually came up with this particular. Well, everyone knows, and the former NDP, which is the 2018-2021 plan, indicated that the government is key on gender equality. Would you say that this particular list is reflective of that? Would you say that the cabinet must be a pace-setting ground for this?
Yeah, I agree. I have seen the new Secretary General and head of the Civil Service.
I found only 3.
Is a woman. The Minister of Education remains one. The Minister of Women's Affairs remains a woman. And for the first time in government history, President Barrow, is the one who created the Ministry of Women Affairs. We always had a women's bureau, but then he actually amplified, the circumstances surrounding women by creating a ministry. So gradually we will get there. It's difficult to satisfy everybody, but I think it's a major development. It's a significant shift. If you look at the new cabinet, you can see that there's a lot of work into this place. This team, highly qualified Gambians, by no way suggesting that those who went, they are not qualified.
So you're saying that high qualification will ace or wish this?
No. You can have all the degrees in the world. If you are not committed to your country, it is zero. You have to have the character. You have to have the temperament that actually required, to be able to fulfill this very Herculean task as a minister. So apparently qualifications, yes, but beyond qualification was character, love for country, patriotism, and selflessness. And that's what we expect.
Precarious list or not, we've seen how, of course, government officials kept changing in the form. Do we anticipate such? Because this is not what a progressive society.
No. Far from that. And also there is a novelty. If you look at the new cabinet, you also, I don't know if you have realized, that 2 of the new ministers were governors. One is Abasalan,
yes,
who was governor in the Central River region. The other person is a lady, the former governor of the Lower River region. That also means that President Barrow has been watching his governors, and he knows who was committed to work, and out of the 5, he has chosen these people. That may also be a motivation for the other governors to also work harder and aim higher, that the figure is right.
Going forward, the NDP has expired. We're looking forward to a green recovery plan. What is the plan going forward for proper coordination amongst all these industries to where to go?
Yeah, if you see the creation of the new ministry at the PMO, now instead of having a secretary overseeing or heading the PMO, you have a secretary general. For the first time, the secretary general has always been at the presidency. In order to reduce the workload, the stress work of the secretary general, President Barrow decided to hire a chief of staff. The correspondence says that any letter you write to President Barrow must now be addressed to his chief of staff. In one case, he said he was a former parliamentary at the Works Ministry. Until today, he is. So obviously, this shows seriousness. It shows commitment and dedication to duty. That the president in the next 5 years, as the bus driver, the metaphorical bus driver, really would continue to accelerate his vehicle. And then we read them.
Just look at the case of Morrissey before the curve.
Okay.
What's the reason for the dissectomy?
The dichotomy or dissectomy, whatever you want to call it, is because the world absorbs. When Malik, your boss, and I worked at Radio Gambia, we never knew we were going to have Facebook, we were going to have WhatsApp, we were going to have Twitter, whatever you could, TikTok. Today, every day, there's a new I call new realm of journalism. So journalism has evolved. Now technology has to, go in tandem with communication and information, and consistent with the global patterns and the trajectory that some has taken. This is why President Barrow decided that here too we have to decouple them. Decoupling them means to increase efficiency so that everybody, you practice what you do best. It's like Adam Smith's theory of the pin factory, division of labor. You do what you do best.
But in the NDP, it was also there that of course, technology is going to be used as an engineer for growth. But we've seen little effort being done, would you say?
Well, I wouldn't say that. Given the circumstances in which President Barrow came to power, the limited resources we found here, the financial situation of the country, we couldn't even pay beyond 2 months' salary. Today we can pay up to 7-8 months. So there's a significant actually development. So to suggest otherwise really would be an underestimation of the progress registered thus far.
Going forward, would be your assurance on behalf of government? What can Gambians anticipate? And just this news that has just come forth, making sure that we realize.
They're going to see a very serious, a more sober, more reflective, more introspective president who has a big heart for his country, who loves his country, who wants to promote the spirit of democracy, transparency, and respect for the rule of law. So the next 5 years, are really years for hard work and dedication to our country.
Very well. Mr. Spokesperson, many thanks for your time.
My profound pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was live from GRTS. You just heard the new formation of the cabinet. Esa, I told you it was going to be a male cabinet minister. Honorable Badara Joof, Vice President, Honorable Badara Joof, who was the Minister of Higher Education, is now the Vice President. This list was floating out, his name was floating out on social media earlier on. Badara Joof is the new Vice President. Ahmad Ba stays as the Minister of Tourism and Culture. Honorable Mamburin Jai is gone. Honorable Sheikh Omar Faye is gone. Honorable Lamin Dibaf of Energy is gone. James Gomez is gone.
By Lamin Job.
By Lamin Job of Works is gone. Who else? Interior Minister Sonko is gone. Interesting appointments. So far, your reaction to what you have heard. I know we are waiting on the official document being should be sent to us soon from the government office of the spokesperson. But so far, what you have seen?
A big surprise, I must say, because, like you said, the vice president, I was definitely expecting a female vice president, as usual.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do. They relegate women to deputy positions.
Barrow has always changed that, though. Even speaker, it was supposed to be...
Exactly, that's what we're expecting.
Barrow is not following the normal traditional thing.
Yeah, of gender, equality and all that, or consideration. So the vice president role being given to Honorable Badara Joof is something that came as a surprise to me. In fact, the speculation in town was that Badara Joof was going to go. He was going to
actually
be removed.
No,
that was the speculation at the time. Shortly after election, because people were like, Barrow is looking for people that could bring him political capital, and Badara is not that active into partisan politics and all that, so he will definitely bring somebody. So we are saying, in fact, Dr. Ismail Assise was going to replace Badara Joof.
Yes.
But now catapult to the position of vice president and having Professor Kerr Gomez as the Minister of Higher Education. I'm trying to connect the relationship between Badara and Professor Gomez. Probably because Barrow is interested to say, Badara, okay, look, I want you to come as vice president. Who will you recommend to come as Minister of Higher Education? Looking at Professor Gomez's track record at the UTG, from the Gambia College, when he was younger, coming to UTG as dean, coming to serve as the deputy vice chancellor academics, and having that very good relation. He has a very good relationship with Badara Joof, by the way.
Yes.
So that is why when it came, it's shocking, because I met Professor Gomez just not long ago, just 30 minutes ago on campus in Canifing. We were even teasing each other, but my mind did not even go on the issue of appointment, so I did not even ask him. Maybe I was not expecting.
I was surprised because someone told me earlier on. I did get this information that Badara was going to be the higher education vice president. I did get that.
I got Madam Claudia calling.
I get that, but someone told me that he might have recommended Dr. Sise, because this has been floating around. So surprising.
I think he would recommend Professor Gomez than Dr. Sise.
Dr. Sise.
If the recommendation is to come from him, I think he would recommend. I think they have very good relationship. But also, Professor Gomez's appointment, I think it was also in reaction to the concern raised by a lot of people that the president did not nominate any Christian in the National Assembly, and we had one of the his big supporters was out there to say, well, the cabinet is there, probably somebody who could come. So this could be a compensation, a form of compensation, although Claudia Cole is there, is maintained. But to say, let me add another Christian in the cabinet, I think that could be a compensation kind of to the minority. Then other ministers, Hamad Ba was not surprised. Yes. I knew he was going to maintain his position. And also I was hinted that Musa Drame was going to be moved to fisheries. And Ibrahim Asila, of course, to works. But then other changes, the likes of, Sey Omar Faye. People have been saying also that the Banjulian-born ministers were not going to maintain their
position. Of them are gone.
I think it's Dr. Tangara.
Apart from Tangara, all of them are gone.
Because obviously, Barrow, was thinking that Banjul is his stronghold, and the past National Assembly election shows that that is not his stronghold. So he must have been like, look, I've done all the favors for them, gave them up to 3 or 4 ministerial positions, and then I've not won a single constituency in Banjul. So I think that is something that is problematic around.
Esa, now, President Barrow, during his interview with Standard, they say this cabinet is going to entail coalition members. We haven't seen a lot of political appointments in this cabinet. What does this show us? Apart from Dr. Sabali was at GDC and he left. When he left, a lot of people, people like MC Cham will say, oh no, Dr. Sabali, I'm a political capital. But when Dr. Sabali went to NPP, he showed himself. He was trying to drain everybody from GDC. He was very instrumental in bringing people from GDC to NPP. He worked closely. I see election day, election night, he was always at the IEC with Alkali Conte. He signed on all of the returning documents for the NPP. And what we have seen, he's a medical professional, right? But he is taken to agriculture. That is a political appointment. Lamin Queen Jame is the NPP spokesperson, but he's not been very vocal. Sidinjai had taken over that role as the deputy spokesperson. So Lamin is a former APRC member, but now NPP. He is the spokesperson of the NPP. He is also Minister of Information Technology. Siaka Sonko, a former police officer, he went on exile for so many years, and he came back. He was advisor to the IGP. He is the Minister of Interior. That came as a big surprise.
Yeah, I do not know Siaka Sonko much. I think, in fact, I've heard his name for the first time. Let me not say I do not know him much. I do not know him. But in the case of, what's the name again, Dr. Sabali, I think there was speculation also that Dr. Sabali was kind of lobbying for the post of Minister of Health, that Dr. Samate would have been released, because that was what a lot of people thought, that Dr. Samate will be relieved and then Dr. Sabali could come in. But like you said, I think he's the only typical political appointment. Not even part of those big wigs in the Grand Coalition, because Dr. Sabali, yes, being the returning officer, signing documents for the NPP, but was not a leading figure in the Grand Coalition. If you look at the Grand Coalition partners, it seems like all of them have gone. PPP, there's no one. I'm not sure there's anyone in the cabinet.
We're going to have to look at all the
NCP, I think they've gone, because Lamin Diba was the last man standing, I think, and James Gomez as well. GPDP, I think in the Grand Coalition is only NRP's Hamad Nkeba who is maintained, who is in cabinet. APRC, there were speculations that either Amul Nyasi or someone else could be appointed in cabinet, but then Amul is not there. People are saying that maybe other positions could be given to him. So we have not seen anybody from the Grand Coalition, as part of the new cabinet that is being formed. We've seen more of technocrats, because I think also Barrow has said that although the cabinet will be composed, will comprise, people from the Grand Coalition, but also, people that are technocrats per se. And that's what we have seen, the likes of Professor Gomez and other people that have been appointed in cabinet. But it's really surprising. And then also, for me, I was not expecting much changes at the latter part, because even today when I was discussing with people, I said, I'm not expecting much changes, but I think there has been a lot of changes.
There have been a lot of changes. A lot of the people that are coming in, the energy minister has changed.
Yeah, Fafasanya, not a surprise anyway.
Yes, so this new guy, it's not a new guy actually, Abdou Diop. Abdou Diop was a former NAREC MD. He once time on the JAME served as energy minister. He knows the sector. He's been a civil servant all his life. A public servant. He worked for so many years at NAWEC, and then became the managing director. At one point became the Director General Apura, and also became the Minister of Energy at one point. So he knows the sector. He knows the sector very well. So it seems like the president is not bringing a lot of politics into the cabinet, but instead he's bringing a lot of technicians. This is what we see. I can tell you honestly, Abdou Diop is seasoned. He's been in the system for a long time.
Certainly, but then I only hope that these people will not be turned into politicians and then become, staunch supporters of the NPP instead of, being technocrats, although they are political appointments. But like you said, they are technocrats. They are not necessarily politicians. I mean, partisan politics we mean. But I only hope that they will not turn into that and then, forget about why they're there, because what the government spokesperson said clearly is that this is a cabinet that they expect to be with a difference, a cabinet that they expect to come with a lot of things that the president really trusts these people to be there. But the vice president, Dr. Aissatou Toure, I cannot still, I don't know how.
Wait, I mean, this has Dr. Toure's removal has been all over the place. Actually, unconfirmed reports is telling us that he's going to DC. We cannot confirm that, but it's been out there for a long time that she was going to leave. You didn't get to hear that?
No, I did not. Like I said, I was not also following most of these, speculations out there. Just sometimes I come across them, and that is why even the Claudia Nicole thing, I was telling you that I was reading it today on an email, just today, just this evening.
Yeah.
But the person was like, okay, let's wait for official announcement from the government, and we'll be able to tell whether Claudia Nicole. But then she is able to maintain her position. I think the president is also conscious of the gender aspect at some point, because removing Claudia Nicole, probably unless you bring somebody, a female, because Dr. Toure is gone, and then if you want to remove Claudia Nicole, how many female will remain in cabinet? Maybe that is something that he is trying to put into consideration. And also the past 5 years, we have not seen Claudia Nicole being that very active in partisan politics, and also even the other female, ministers. I think the gender, the Fatou Kintia, and then the Ami Fabure. Well, Ami Fabure is also gone. We have a new minister that is Demba Sabali. I only hope that, because some of these ministries, especially the agriculture ministry, having a lot of challenges, I only hope that their coming will really add something. Minister of Higher Education, because that's my area. I'm from the university. I'm so much interested in that. I'm only waiting what specific reforms or changes the new minister will want to bring, because it's interesting to note that Gomez is in the UTG. As we speak, he's still a UTG staff. He's the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics. He has been in UTG for more than 10 years or 15 years, and he knows the problems of UTG. Just of recent, we were talking about lack of classrooms for UTG students, and he was always been in on Brikama campus to look at the problems himself. So, and then he was also been complaining that yes, nothing much has been done, especially on the side of the government and all that. That's what they expect, even though openly they will not say these things. But obviously, you know that what they expect is for the government to act. What they expect is for the ministry to act. And there's something that the outgoing Minister of Higher Education wanted to bring, that is to transform GTTI and MDI into universities when UTG is struggling. So I don't know what will be the stance of Professor Gomez in this area. What changes will he want to bring in the Ministry of Higher Education? Let's see how this is going to affect the higher education trajectory in the Gambia.
Now, another interesting Ministry of Finance. I mean, it seems like Barrow wants to distance himself with all of the noise. Remember, anytime something happens, and for example, the Sabali case, everybody started coming out. You have Mambo in your cabinet, and you're telling Sabali not that he cannot run. Anytime things like that happen, people go after Mambori. It seems like he was more of a distraction to the government. I think it was a bold decision, though, for President Barrow to remove Mambori. And Sidi Keita, the trade minister, is the new finance minister. We saw this coming because there were rumors that he's going to oversee trade as well until they finalize. We heard somebody that will be trade, but it's not finalized, so we will not say that. But Mambori Njai, do you think it's because of Banjul elections that the president lost, or is it because the president cannot just continue dealing with the baggage that he brings to the government?
The Banjul issue could be a factor, but I think also, if you look at the Gambian economy, you may not blame Mambure because of the situation, the COVID, and also the Ukrainian crisis, how the economy is being affected. But I think also it's also about the pressure, because the economy is so bad, people are complaining every day that the looting of state resources, one can say, rampant corruption, obviously, that is not something that is separate from the Minister of Finance.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's really, I mean, probably looking at the economic situation of the country, knowing that maybe Mambure is not doing a good job. That is why we are having all these challenges. So somebody has to come in, because I cannot just imagine why, he has to remove Mambure and bring a minister that is trade minister to come and be the Minister of Finance and then overseeing the trade ministry. What is the urgency in it?
What is the urgency?
I mean, Mambure could be maintained, and this guy maintained as trade minister, and whenever there is somebody to come as finance minister, because probably CD is going back, in fact, to trade. Probably. No one knows. He might go back to trade, and then somebody choosing to be as finance minister.
Is it because Barrow is tired of the baggage Mambure brings to his government?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and then there are a lot of scandals from the side of Mambure. Looking at politically, I mean, tied to Jame at some point, the Sabali case, and I mean, a lot of talks about the Minister of Finance, especially when it comes to the mismanagement of public funds. I mean, the corruption scandals everywhere, the bad economic situation of the country. I think this could have contributed. But also, like you said, I will not rule out the Banjul issue, because it's also about, I mean, regional politics. Sometimes politicians play that. African politicians do that. They look at the regional aspect of it, which region is bringing more. But then, Combo is maintained. Of course, Ibrahim Asilla as a minister.
Actually, that's it, because, the Ministry of Works is a bigger ministry. Yeah. Seems like that is a more of a promotion for Honorable Ibrahim Asilla. Yeah. Works infrastructure is a big department. The budget is way bigger than communication. It's a bigger task. So it seems like the president is really happy with Ibrahim Asilla. I mean, during the presidential, he was really happy. You would think after the National Assembly, he wasn't. But it seems like Ibrahim is one of President Barrow's trusted people, because, to be honest, Works is a big ministry.
The political aspect of it, I think, like if you look at those people that were also active during the December election, most of them are maintained. Ibrahim Asilla is maintained. Even Dr. Samate. Yeah. Dr. Samate was also into it on campaign. He was talking, so he's also maintained. Hamad Ba, not a surprise.
Not a surprise.
Yeah, so some of those people are maintained for political gains, and also as part of the political clique that Barrow has, so he has to maintain them, because at the end of the day, he's also, even though he's looking for the input from technocrats and technicians, but he also need those political appointees on his side, those loyalists. As we always say, politics is about loyalty. Loyalty is very, very important. But I think also this will serve as a letdown on the side of many people, especially the Grand Coalition, like I said, the PPPs, the NCPs, the GPDPs. Well, Henry Gomez is still hanging there as deputy advisor or whatever, but probably they were also expecting some... Exactly. Some rewards. Well, the Dahin is done, but Henry Gomez is not tested. So I think it will be a surprise, a disappointment. I remember a show that we had with Dudija. I think he said that APRC, they're not expecting much from the cabinet. He did say that. Yeah. It seems like, well, more probably he was really privy to a lot of things. Maybe this is their best compensation as Speaker of the National Assembly, and then that's it. So if they can maintain that. But I think also this will have implications when it comes to the local government elections, especially on the side of the APRC, because one can say there is not that much trust between the APRs and NPP, even if you look at the selection of candidates in the National Assembly election. And coming to the local government, especially mayoral election, let's see what will happen, especially in KM, where APRC think that they have a stronghold. Not West Coast, not Banjul, but in KM is an area that they think they have a stronghold. And I think also the NPP will want to put up somebody in KM. So this could affect the working of the Grand Coalition. As it is.
Another interesting Ministry of Local Government and Lands, Honorable Musa Drame. I mean, I didn't see this coming. Yes, there are so many scandals going on and a lot of things happening with Honorable Musa, but I did not see him being moved. I mean, a lot of people, even up to this morning, someone said Honorable Musa is going to fisheries. I said, no, I don't think so. I don't think he's moving. He's very, very, very close to the president. So, did you see that coming?
I also saw it, I think, yesterday. What I did not see is that Musa was not going to be, removed. which is the case, because of course that's another political capital on his side, even though Musa's ministry is one of the most controversial ministry. But probably also Barrow did it to calm the tension, knowing fully well that Musa cannot handle that ministry, but has political capital. Let me just move into fisheries, which is another area, because the one that is removed, remember there was a corruption scandal at the ministry as well, involving the permanent secretary, the Ministry of Fisheries, involving the permanent secretary, and even the minister's name was mentioned there. Probably this decision to remove that minister is also, in reaction to that, because of the corruption scandal. But moving Musa Drame to fisheries, I think, could be a way of trying to calm down the tension at the Ministry of Lands, knowing fully well that we have a lot of problems in this country when it comes to land issues. But one thing that I want to mention, in the case of the Banjul ministers, when the Banjul Muslim of, how do you call it?
Banjul Muslim elders.
Banjul Muslim elders visited the president on Eid Day. There was somebody who was talking, one man who was talking, and I paid particular attention to that. And I was able to relate it to ministerial appointments, because the man was saying, may Allah protect you from people that will come to you and say appoint this one, remove this one. May he give you people that will be there for you to advise you in the best interest of the country. So I was like, is he guilty? Is he privy to any information that the president is suddenly going to remove the Banjulians from cabinet? So that could be a way, but then because he started by saying that the Barrow has done something that no government in this country has ever done for them, and he started praising him. So probably they could be shocked and disappointed. Maybe they were expecting this, but not a surprise to them that it has happened this way. But a way of trying to massage Barrow verbally to see how best he can compensate them or maintain some of his people in parliament. But like I said, the president is also interested in those that are going to bring him political advantage at the end of the day. And if Mambure or Bailamin or any other person is not bringing that, I think, he will definitely show them the exit door and bring people that he thinks will really do the job for him.
I am trying to, who is the Minister of Local Governments now? I missed that one. Who is the Minister of Local Governments?
Local governments,
we missed that, but Dr. Saman, we'll come back to that. I'm still refreshing, waiting for the government spokesperson to send us the comprehensive list. They promised to send it right away, so we're waiting for that. Until that comes, let's talk about the ones we know. The Minister of Health, Dr. Samade. I know a lot of people will say, I still believe Dr. Samate, politics aside, is a good minister. I believe he's an excellent medical doctor, but I believe if he takes politics out of what he does, he's going to be a good technocrat. But, after everything that comes out of his ministry, the audit report, the scandals about the maternal mortality, and all these issues that are happening, there's so much happening at the health ministry. Dr. Samate maintains his position. Why do you think so?
Yeah, I think, like you said, when you talk to some people, especially medical professionals, some of them, a good number I can say, that I've engaged will tell you that Dr. Samate is a good minister and he should be maintained. Even though some will have their reservations, they think that he should just go. But I think also probably because he's being involved in politics, a lot partisan politics, especially towards the December election, that some people are not happy. They think that will divert or deviate him from the real issues, him as a medical professional. But I think also, people have also, like you said, the scandals, the National Audit Report, because this is not the first time, in fact. The mismanagement or misuse of COVID funds has been an issue, since the outbreak of COVID-19. And it seems the ministry has not done much. If you look at the National Audit Report that is being released of recent, the minister came out instead to try to defend the ministry's position, trying to defend or trying to justify whatever has happened with the COVID funds. But I think there were not enough explanations. But definitely, I don't know. If you look at scandals, for instance, if we say scandals should be the reason why ministers should be removed because they've not been doing a good job, I think many will say that Dr. Samate should be removed. But also, like you said, some look at him as a very good professional, he is good at the ministry. And some changes have been brought in the ministry when it comes to issues of capacity building and training. That's what some will attest to say that is really good. If you look at even the Bundu maternity health hospital scandal or issue, the problem that emerged there when some staff said that the the guy that is I can't remember the name.
I know.
Keba, no, Keba Mane, that is moved to Buyam, and that there's someone from Buyam who is coming. Some are saying that some of them complain that no, Keba Mane has done a good job at the Bundung Hospital, and therefore they should not move him. But the minister's response, I guess, was that, well, he has done a very good job there, so we want him to go and duplicate the same job in Buyam too, and then this one can come in. So those are, I think also those are very, bold decisions that the minister had taken, and it shows that he's showing responsibility. He's taking responsibility for taking certain decisions at the ministry.
Abba Sanyang, local government.
Abba
was governor. Yeah. He's now the Minister of Local Governments and Lands. A very, very difficult ministry. A lot of scandals, a lot of issues. How do you see his appointment as the minister?
Well, first we have to establish that Abba was not only a governor on the Barrow, but he was even a National Assembly member, I think, on the Jame. I think a National Assembly member, either a National Assembly member, but he was holding one key position on the Jame. He was a staunch loyalist to Jame. I remember having a discussion with Abba where he was still adamant trying to defend Yaya Jame. So I think it's because of his loyalty to Yaya Jame at some point, flip-flopping between Jame and Barrow, that he was able to secure that governor position because he was governor of Central River Region. The last time I checked, he was governor of Central River Region. But he was also in Jame's inner circle, one can say, in terms of positions and all that. But at the local government level as well, I think he's appointed because of his experience, probably in local government as governor of Central River Region, and also. Yeah, so he's also someone, to be honest with you, who is level-headed in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience. He's really up to that. But then whether he'll be able to handle the challenges of that ministry is something else. I think really, if there's any one ministry that the Barrow government should really focus on, is the Ministry of Lands. Looking at all these scandals, all the problems associated with this ministry, we really need somebody who can do the job.
Now, Bakari Baji maintains his position.
Is Bakari going to maintain?
Maintained as the Minister of Youth and Sports. What do you think about that? Bakari has been very cool, level-headed. Yes, involved in politics, but also has limits. We needed a young person in the cabinet, and Bakari, here we have Bakari.
Well, I thought APRC will be compensated to do the job, to be.
You kept saying that,
Yeah, I kept saying that, but and then also somewhere like probably Bakari would not maintain his position because Bakari is from KM, and Barrow did not win a single seat in KM. In the last National Assembly election. But I think also Bakari is maintained because, as a young person, still political capital, Barrow will think. But whether there is that connection still between Bakari and young people of KM, especially across, generally we can say the entire country, is something that we should try to find out. But then I think also, looking at the demographic groups, having women, having young people in parliament, in cabinet, I think that could be one reason why Bakari is maintained. Although age-wise he's not a young person, looking at the age category or age definition of youth, he's not a young person, but I think he's so connected with young people that, Barrow will have to just maintain him there. But Fatou, there's also one thing that we have to be mindful of. We have to be cautious of that. Some of these people that are even maintained could be changed.
Yes.
In a 1 month time, in 2 months time, in 3 months time. So I don't think the game is yet over. I think this might be a cooling.
Stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon. To make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets, with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements, merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.
If you are thinking of a bank that takes care of customers' needs by providing quality services with flexibility, reliability, and innovation, think Trust Bank Limited. With Trust Bank Limited mobile banking, you enjoy services such as balance inquiry, mini statement, funds transfer between accounts, exchange rates, mobile airtime top-up, stop ATM card, checkbook request, and PIN change. Our real-time gross settlement allows the customer to instruct the bank to transfer funds from their account to another account at another bank. Our expertise and experience in international banking is both legendary and the envy of the market. Retail banking, one bank, different amazing packages. Whether you are interested in savings account, current account, time or fixed deposit account, lending or overdraft, our team of dedicated staff is always ready and willing to help you out with your transactions as you wish. Corporate banking. Trust Bank Limited offer the most convenient services for deposit accounts, credit facilities, trade finance, bond and guarantee, and foreign currency account. With e-banking, you can make electronic bill payments and online banking and enjoy 24-hour access to your cash with our ATM. With the largest network of branches and agents, we give you the convenience to receive funds as you please. Trust Bank Limited, proudly Gambian.
fay lempo warugal la si képp koo xam ne doomi réew mi nga ak ñu fi dëkk bu fekkee ne ci at mi sa koom-koom weesu na $2,400 dalasi mbete weer bu nekk di nga am lu tollu si $2,000 dalasi lempo si la nguur gi di sukkandeku ngir liggéey yokkute réew mi GRA mooy banxaas bu nguuri Gambia sas ngir mu fayeku lépp luy lempo ci biir réew mi ba tax na GRA di yëgal faykati lempo yi ne.
Thank you very much, guys. We're sorry. It's good that we're having a new energy minister because NAWEC has done what NAWEC does best, and we are not broadcasting from the office, so we're broadcasting from somewhere else. But I think I have a list here, even though we still haven't got, but I just want to read out what we have. Honorable Badara Diouf is the Vice President. Minister of Justice, Dauda A. Jallo, maintains his position. Minister of Foreign Affairs, Momodou Tangara. Minister of Finance, Sidi Keita. Minister of Defense, Serin Modou Njai. Serin Modou Njai was the Army colonel during Jammeh's time. He went to Turkey as deputy ambassador. I think he was promoted as ambassador. He first went, I think, as a military attaché. Very disciplined guy. I know him. He was a colonel, and so Serigne Modou is going to be the new Minister of Defense. So say Omar Faye is out. Siaka Sonko is the new Minister of Interior. Hamad Nkeba, no surprise there, Minister of Tourism and Culture. Abba Sanyang is the Minister of Lands. Demba Sabali is the new Minister of Agriculture. I am very surprised though, Ami Fabure. I didn't see that coming. Ami is a strong politician and very, she's been working in the agricultural sector, so I didn't see this coming. And then Ibrahim Asila, the Minister of Works and Transport. Dr. Samate, Minister of Health. Mrs. Cole maintains his position as the Minister of Basic Education. Fatou Kinte also maintains her position as the Minister of Gender. Abdou Diop is the Minister of Petroleum, right? That is also energy, right? And then the Minister of Fisheries is Musa Drame. Higher Education, Professor Pierre Gomez. Environment, Mrs. Jones Manjang. I don't know her. We need to know more about her. I was surprised. So Lamin Diba, I had got rumors that he was going to go, but I do know Lamin is a very, very big technocrat. But he's also a politician, especially during the presidential election. The man was campaigning seriously, and and he was the only NCP minister in cabinet. My husband, Majanko Samusa, was in parliament. Now he was not nominated. Now they don't have a minister. It only talks about what has happened.
What is James Gomez from? James Gomez is
PPP.
Oh, PPP, okay.
He was the lone minister after OJ. He was the lone minister, and Lamin Diba was the lone minister of NCP. So there's no NCP. There's no PPP. I don't see any APRC minister as well, but at least they have speaker. Yeah. The only minister, the coalition partner that I see is Ahmad Ba. And of course, Bakari Baji, Minister of Youth and Sport, Lamin Kunjame, Information. But there are other changes. The Secretary General and Head of Civil Service has been changed. Honorable Nuha Toure is out, and Salimata Toure, that's Nuha's deputy, is the new Secretary Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service. They are going to have another department. The Secretary General is going to be the head of the Civil Service. They're going to have a Chief of Staff and all of that. We will get those things later on, but this is the comprehensive list that we have, Esa.
Well, for Queen Jame, this sort of information, if you look at it, they even have two departments now. One department is a digital economy or whatever. Yeah. But I think also, to
information
be honest,
and digital, yeah.
Yeah, I think also the president needs to be conscious of the evolving nature of technology, digital media and all that not. So bringing someone as Queen Jame as Minister of the area, I know permanent secretary is supposed to be the technocrats and all that, but I think also the person has to be at that level. Queen, obviously, his experience has been governor. Not necessary to say, not to make derogatory remarks that whether he's BBC or whatever, but I'm looking at someone who is technologically oriented, technologically minded. Because if you look at some ministries, it's obviously those people, some people are appointed to some ministries because of their background, because of their area. Looking at Gomez, obviously, at the Ministry of Higher Education is because of his track record, his experience in higher education. I think that is why he's appointed. But then bringing Queen Jame, what innovative changes is he going to bring at that ministry is something that we want to question. But like you said, the only coalition partners that are left right now is, of course, Hamad Ba of the NPP. PPP is all gone. Yeah. And that's why I've said that political parties do survive in parliament. And, it's like they don't have any seat in parliament now, be it NCP, be it PPP, be it GPDP. They all don't have any seat in parliament now. And they have also lost all the cabinet positions. So what is left for them now? This is something that I think could have implications for the party in terms of survival, especially when it comes to parliamentary politics. So it's really surprising to see some of these changes. But 6 ministers have maintained their positions, because Hamad Ba has maintained his position.
Yeah.
Dr. Tangara has maintained his position. Samate has maintained his position.
Yeah.
Bakari Baji has maintained his position.
Yeah.
Who else? Claudia Cole has maintained her position.
Yeah.
Ibrahim Silla still in cabinet, but a different position. Sidi Keita too still in cabinet, but a different position.
Yeah.
I think so far, those are the ones. But then let's see what will be the reaction of the public towards this new composition. I don't know. I know some people must be very shocked, especially the political actors.
Yeah.
Really, and I think specifically APRC. I think this will probably affect the relationship between Barrow and the APRC, in the sense that is Tombong the only person who is
Tombong is the leader, though.
Yeah, he's the leader, but is he the only person? Probably somebody could also be. OJ was appointed as minister. James Gomez was also appointed as minister.
But I think it's important that also the president comes with a technical.
Now, I understand. What I'm saying is, on the side of the APRC,
the parties,
they feel?
The entire Grand Coalition.
Grand Coalition.
Because, remember, after the nomination, all of these people, I was talking to one of the members of this coalition a few days ago, and he said, a lot of them are waiting. They were waiting that at least something will come. But again, there are so many other appointments, department heads, embassies, and all other places. The president can appoint these people to other places, because especially at embassies, you have political appointments there. And I think it's important that the cabinet is not politicized that much. Foreign Affairs, Dr. Tangara, a seasoned, very seasoned diplomat from Foreign Affairs during Jammeh time. He worked as ambassador from different higher education, ambassador, foreign affairs, and then later on ambassador, and then he was at the UN for so many years, and then came as foreign affairs. So he's very seasoned. When it comes to diplomacy, you want to keep somebody who is grounded. You want to keep somebody who knows the sector. And I think maintaining Dr. Tangara, a lot of people will say that was good.
Certainly. I think, like you said, the cabinet should not be politicized that much. This has always been my call. In fact, for me, those who say that, ministers should be political appointees, no, for me, because when you make them political appointees, especially on partisan grounds, they're not looking, because at some point we have to differentiate between party and government, and party and even the state. The government of Adama Barrow, yes, is the NPP government, but there are certain party policies that might not reflect the policies of the government under Barrow. So at some point, it should not be that politicized. What we need is the president might decide to appoint politicians because of their loyalty. But then I also think technocrats are really needed in the cabinet, and that is what he has done. Some of the appointments like we have seen. But at the end of the day, politicians are politicians. They're also interested in political capital. Whether this will work in Barrow's favor, he will also have to look at the trend. But we have a long time to come from local government elections, obviously, towards the next presidential election. We will see. I think we'll be seeing changes as well. Let us not also be surprised if Barrow has become another Yahya Jammeh, because the past 5 years he was with a coalition, couldn't have many changes. But now he's thinking like, okay, I'm on the NPP, I came on the NPP ticket, I am the president, I'm not an independent candidate, I did not run on the independent candidate, I am the president, I can change my ministers at any time. So let's not be surprised if Barrow keeps on also changing his ministers, because he might be like, okay, this one is not working. The reason why he has removed a lot of people is because he thinks that those ministries are not working. So if he sits down and say, well, this other ministry is not also working, he can just change them. But we expect that even if he is to change, let them be replaced by technocrats who really he think can do the job.
Are you surprised that Dr. Cisse, there have been a lot of speculations about Dr. Joining this cabinet? In fact, Dr., one of the biggest critics of this government, now has has been really moderate. And in fact, to the point he said what he knew before, if he had known, he would not have been this much. A lot of people said, oh, because he's going to be minister. But surprisingly, we were expecting that the minister was coming from UTG. Yes, it came, but never, ever was expected that it was going to be professor.
Yeah, in Dr. I watched one of his interviews. I think when he went to attend the swearing-in ceremony of Barrow, he was interviewed a position that he will pay that because people said you have visited Barrow, and although the CA denied that, but it came out to be true. So are you interested in any cabinet position? He was like, for me, I am ready to serve the Gambia in any capacity. When given the opportunity to serve in any capacity, I will definitely serve. But then I think it might be a surprise to a lot of people because definitely CA did not take any position, any stance when they were rejected, which political party or which candidate they were going to support. They were like they're going to remain neutral, they are not supporting either side, but there were speculations that CA was indeed in for Barrow, and even Dr. Cisse, just 2 weeks ago or so, we had a youth leader from the CA who was out to reveal a lot of things, to say that in fact, Citizens Alliance were given pickups and they indeed campaigned for Barrow. And then also, like you said, Ismaila was a very strong critique of the Barrow government, but of recent we have seen him being a bit moderate, not appearing frequently on the media talking about a lot of things. And I think now, there are more problems, more scandals in this government now than before when he was talking. So we expect, even if he is non-academic, probably one could say, being a politician, we expect him to be talking on some of these things. We expect all those opposition politicians to be talking on some of these things. Working with the government or working with Barrow to ensure that the country moved to another level doesn't mean that you just have to be in cabinet or you just have to be silent. Even critiquing the government on some of the problems that are happening, some of the challenges we face as a country, it's really good. It's really helping the government to know its weaknesses. So I think he was also expecting something in return. But then you also have to understand, like I said, Barrow is also looking for people with political capital. Being a technocrat, I think Professor Gomez is more experienced than Ismaila. He's a professor, obviously, but then also has more experience in higher education, especially in the context of the Gambia, because when Professor Gomez did his PhD in France, he was back in the Gambia. He's been working in this country for more than 15 years. So he really has an understanding, a deeper understanding of the higher education sector in this country compared to Ismaila. But I think also, like you said, it's not yet done, but I think what Ismaila would have expected is cabinet rather than any other position, probably outside. Like some will think that, okay, maybe foreign mission. I don't think he will want to go there, because these are leaders of political parties. They want to be inside the country to maintain their parties. I think the only leader of a political party who abandoned his party and went for foreign appointment was Papanjai. And we've seen the impact or the effects of that on the PPP, because the PPP is almost dead.
Yeah.
Suddenly almost dead, in the sense that we are not having anybody from the PPP as part of cabinet. But let's see what happens later. Probably Ismaila could be compensated at the level of the CA. Probably also, he's not needed in cabinet. Maybe Barrow will need him somewhere. But all we know is that he's back in the university. He's continued teaching, and let's see what happens later.
But even the NPP itself, apart from Lamin Queen Jame and Dr. Savali, who else? Ibrahim has been minister before. We have a lot of NPP folks out there who have been really loyal supporters of the president. We don't see any of them making it to cabinet. They say Tijans of Ganu, the Lamin Bojangs of all of those independent candidates. What happens? Henry Gomez, Borom Dakin Sipa Sipa Akibuj Paji, he's nowhere to be seen. So I don't know, but it seems like President Barrow is not looking at anybody's political support. He said he wants to rule this country like this is his third term. I don't know whether policy-wise or otherwise, but it seems like what the cabinet is showing is that the president means business. a lot of technicians. I hope, it works that way, but we have seen a lot of technicians coming into cabinet.
Yeah, I mean, when some of those politicians or leaders of political parties started to join the Barrow camp when they were rejected, knowing that they had no chance to contest, it was my submission or argument that some of these people will be seriously disappointed if they are expecting any reward, because what Barrow is looking for was how to win the elections. And if he wins the election, I mean, some of these people that in fact wanted to join Barrow, that joined Barrow, I mean, have no support base. Was it in the best interest of President Barrow to have them, being rewarded hugely, as some will expect, or maybe Tijan will become minister, Lamin Bojang will become minister, somebody else leading a political party will be minister, just like we said also will Ismaila be minister. Sometimes Barrow is also looking for the political benefits that these people can bring on the table. That's what we call comparative advantage in trade terms. So politically he's looking for comparative advantage. What can they put on the table when it comes to political benefits? I think that has really contributed. Like you said, we have a lot of technocrats in this ministry, in this cabinet. We expect, or we hope that works, but also we hope that they're able to be advisors to the president as well in taking certain decisions, because we are at a very crucial stage as a country. And these different ministries obviously have their different enormous challenges that they face, and I hope that they will be able to honestly also serve as advisors, not only ministers, but also serve as advisors, especially on their areas, because if you look at some of them, it seems like they're taken to, ministries that are their areas. So we expect that they will be able to advise the president and the government on some of those issues that are really affecting them.
And finally, before we go, because I know tomorrow we will be live on our show, and we will look at this more. By then we would have details, look at everything. But then only 3 ministers, women ministers. Traditionally, the vice president normally is a woman. Barrow changed it when he brought in Honorable Dabo, and then now changed it again. And the speaker normally used to be a woman, and he changed that also. I saw the activist Lala and others tweeting, really, 3 ministers in cabinet, 5 women in parliament. What should we do, considering that women are more than 50% of the voters? And for a president that was voted like that, over 50% of the votes he got, and majority women, why do you think we had less women in cabinet?
I think Barrow has said, his speech, when these people visited him at State House, he said he's going to rule differently this time around. So maybe this is also part of that. But I think also there are a lot of women that really can be in that position. This tells bad of the Barrow government. It speaks bad of the Barrow government in terms of inclusiveness, women inclusiveness in politics and of course public office. Look at the parliament, only 3 women were elected. Although not his fault, that's the wish of the electorate, but in nomination, he nominated only 2 women in parliament. Coming to cabinet, you have only 3 women appointed. I think there are a lot of other women out there. Even Dr. Jenaba Kerr, that is appointed as, I don't know, director of whatever, or policy, whatever, at a specific department created at State House, Office of the President. I think he can obviously make it to the cabinet. Why not? It's not, Dr. Jenaba Kerr was even a good candidate for even higher education. Professor Gomez is a good choice, but Jenaba Kerr could also be one. And there are other women that can really be in those positions. Even the Abi Fabure, when Abi Fabure is removed, somebody else I think will be there who is really experienced in agriculture and all that. So I think it speaks a lot, when it comes to gender inclusiveness under the Barrow government, and I think a lot of feminists or gender activists will be very shocked and disappointed about this decision. But we hope that these changes could be made probably in the long run or in the short term to make sure that women really feel part of this.
And then the new ministries that have not been the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy has not been announced. We have the Public Service Administrative Reforms Policy Coordination and Delivery. It's a new department that was created, Babukar Usman Diouf. And
it's
then,
a department.
I think it's the ministry or department. But it's under the Secretary General's office.
Babukar?
Babukar Usman Diouf.
Yeah, I think that was where the government spokesperson was struggling to say whether it's Usman or Ismail, and he wasn't sure. Okay.
And then the new chief of staff. We now have a new chief of staff, Modu Kesise. Modu was the PS, I think, at Works, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was the PS at Works. He's now going to be the new chief of staff. Yeah. And I'm happy we have a female Secretary General, Salimata Toure, very calm, collected. She worked as a permanent secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then was moved as the Deputy Secretary General under Nuha Toure. Nuha is out, and Salimata is the new Secretary General. Yeah,
I mean, Salimata's appointment, I don't know her, but you know, the expectation is that probably because Nuha is removed, maybe because the civil service reform that the Barrow government is supposed to embark on has not taken any significant steps. Probably this is one reason why the president will want a replacement. And because this is a deputy, maybe, you know, he's been very observant, because the government spokesperson said that the president has been observant. I mean, so it could be that he was very observant between the boss and the deputy, knowing fully well that maybe, I mean, I need Salimatu to do the job than Noah. So that could be a factor, the civil service reform. But I think also, you know, other areas like interior, defense, why these ministries have changed, so it could also be probably because of the slow pace of the security sector reform. Yeah. We know there should be a security sector reform, obviously. That should have been at another level, but it's been slow. It's not making much progress. Probably the president wants something in this area. Obviously, the Ministry of Defense and Interior are not the only ministries that are responsible for this, but even the Ministry of Justice is also responsible for this, because the National Security Bill is still at the Ministry of Justice, has not taken any significant step. But also, Yankuba Sonko and Interior and Dr. Toure's removal, I'm also thinking.
I saw obviously, I think I saw Yankuba Sonko's removal coming.
Yeah, I was thinking of maybe also, I mean, foreign affairs, Dr. Tangara, but maybe Dr. Tangara is not that much involved in that. But the backway returnees, if you remember, there was a time when the ministries responsible, of course, the vice president was there when they were making contradictory statements about the return of those. And I think that brought shame to the government, that you have ministers or ministries that are not even in communication, that cannot even speak with one voice. And the vice president saying that I'm not aware of the signing of any deportation agreement. You know, the Ministry also of Interior also saying this. So I think those could be, I mean, seen as sabotage by the president. But these are analyses we're trying to make, I mean, to connect the dots, but we might not be able to specifically say this is the reason why, you know, the president has removed this person. But then there are some that we can say certainly it's because of political interest, and some we can say it's because they lack the expertise. They're not technocrats, and he needed people that can really do the job in those areas.
Well, yes, Esther, we will continue tomorrow at our normal show to look at the other appointments. Obviously, we'll look at all of these ministers and look at the new cabinet in detail as to who, you know, their expertise. I'm sure they will send us their CVs, especially the new ministers. But it's going to be exciting. It's more of technicians. I think just about 6 ministers maintained. So that is a huge change. Having almost over
6 or 7
6 or 7, yeah, because it's Ahmad Ba, Musa Drame, Badara Juve, Claudiana Cole, Musa Fatou Kinte, Ibrahim Silla, and who? Samate. 7. And Dr. Tangara 8. Out of 14.
Is it 21 ministers?
18 ministers.
18 around that, yeah.
So it means 10 are gone. Yeah. So it's a huge change. And
well, the only surprise is the appointment of Bakso Jete as higher education. I cannot see that. I don't know why.
You kept saying this. Well, Bakso is
I think he could have been the only. I mean, is there anybody Bunka minister appointed? No.
Badibunga? No, there's nobody Bunga.
I think that's the best decision President Barrow has made. Of course, Dr. Samade is a Kianga. So Badibungas are not in cabinet. I think there will be order.
Well, there's nobody Bunga. Yeah. There's nobody Bunga. I was expecting Majanko Samus.
No, Majanko couldn't make it.
But yes, thank you very much, Esa. And to all the viewers watching out there, we will be back tomorrow at 5:30 on Kerr Fatou for our special program. But the new cabinet will be center stage in our program. Thank you very much, Charles and Sire, for holding it down in this secret location, because we are not in the studio today, because we just wanted to make sure we look at this and review it. It is important. Thank you very much, Esa, Charles, Sire, thank you very much. See you guys tomorrow at 5:30 for special Kerr Fatou. Bye-bye.
Better and stronger as the sole ground operator at the Banjul International Airport. With an expansion in travel services, customers are assured of GIA's capacity to cater for all their travel needs, provided by professional, experienced, and ever-smiling staff. GIA's Hajj package and services, by far the best in the country, give the customers the opportunity for a memorable Hajj experience. For a more efficient cargo services, GIA means business as it launches its new multi-million-dollar ultra-modern cargo complex to revitalize and stimulate air transport. GIA, the pride of the Gambia.
Every day is a new opportunity to make sure our first impressions are always our best and to see possibilities on the horizon. To make our facilities and services more accessible and find freedom all around us. With a location proximity to active markets with a liberal air transportation policy. That daily pursuit is how we turn everyday opportunities for you. For all destination marketing support, customized packages for new existing airlines and operators, and for a highly ranked tourist destination, the Gambia Civil Aviation Authority is here to serve. We regulate air transport, operate and manage BIA technical requirements merged with commercial considerations. We have experienced and well-trained aviation professionals to cater for your needs. For investment opportunities in building airport hotels, shopping malls, playground for children, do contact us on 4472-831, 4472-893. Gambia Civil Aviation Authority. We go beyond daily.